अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आज हम स्टैक कंटिन्यू करेंगे और इसका एक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करेंगे। लेट मी शेयर माय स्क्रीन। I hope this screen is visible to you now. Um, the question is baseball game. It has actually nothing to do with baseball. It is something else, right? So let's read the question. You are keeping the score for a baseball game with strange rules. At the beginning of the game, you start with an empty record. You are given a list of string operations where operation of I is the ith operation you must apply to the record and is one of the following. So this is the input list, which is operations, and right, these are the operations that we have in the game. An integer x record a new score of x, which is like an input, and plus what plus will do is record a new score that is sum of the previous two score, and d record a new score that is the double of the previous score, and c invalidate the previous score, removing it from the record. Right, let's read more. Return the sum of all the score on the record after applying all the operations. The test cases are generated such that the answer and all intermediate calculation fit into a bit integer and that all operations are valid. So this is the statement. Let's move to the example so we can understand more. This is the input string 5 to CD plus, so the output is 30. Let's do the explanation. 5. When it comes to the 5, we store this 5 in somewhere. We will decide after that. Add 5 to the record. Record is now 5, which is a list. And then 2 again come and we have to record this 5 and 2, which is basically this integer record a new score x. Now this is the C. And what we have to do in the C, invalidate the previous score, removing it from the record. So what is the previous score right now? Which is 2. And when the same come, we invalidate and remove the previous score, which and 2, and now it become 5. After that, D came, and in on the D, we record the score that is double of the previous score. So we have to record new score, which is the double of the previous score. And what is the previous score, which is 5 now. And when the D come, we double this by 2 times, 2 multiplied by 5 and 10, and store this result in the same list, and 5 and 10. And then now the plus games. After that, we just add this previous to score as mentioned here, regard the new score that is sum of the previous two scores, right? So we basically 5 plus 10, which is 15, and store this result in the same list. And after that, we have to do return the sum of all the score on the record after applying all the operations. Now we have to sum all these 5, 10, and 15, and which become 30, and we return this output as an integer, right? Now we will see this second example on the Excelera, so we can understand more further. Let me paste it. Right. So now we will enter 5 to which is the integer, and we have to record this in a stack. As we getting the idea that we have to use list, and we are accessing the last element. And what we do when we access the last element only, we use the stack data structure. So which is the LIFO, last in first out structure. Everything you insert at the end of the stack, and when you want to pop out, it always come out at the end of the stack. You cannot pop out from the first or second. You always pop out from the end of the stack. So it gives us the idea that we can use stack data structures, which is basically a Python list, and we will use it. Now we will use this tag, and as there are three integers that is coming, we will record this 5, and then 2 came minus 2, yeah, and then 4. After that, there is the C came, which basically we want to invalidate the previous score, which is what is the previous score in this tag, which is 4. So what we're gonna do is delete that score and make this position empty. And yeah, this becomes C and truncate the score. We have covered this portion of that, and now the D came, and what we have to do with D is to double the previous score, and the previous score is -2, and if we multiply -2 by 2 to get the double of the value, we get -4, and we store this -4 in the sorry, yeah, and we multiply this, sorry, for that, and we multiply this -2 with 2 and store the result again in the stack. We did not remove the previous element, which is -2. Um, and 4, -4, yeah. And we have covered this portion right now. Now the 9 came, and for the 9 we will simply put in the stack, and then this is the place 2 plus, and for the first plus we will add previous two stack element, which is -4 and 9. uh, Here the result come out to be 5 after that, and yeah, we will -4 and 9, and we will store this result and the next place. And for the next plus, which is the last one, and for that we will also plus this 9 and 5 element, which will become 14. Yes, and yeah, let's check this stack sequence: 5 -2 -4. Okay, right. Um, 5 -2 -4. Yeah, -2 -4, 9 5 14, 9 5 14, which become 27 at the end. And we will do the sum with the built-in function, which is sum function in Python, with this one. Okay, so let's now we get the understanding of how to solve this question. Let's move to the the implementation. First of all, we will define the stack, and for that I'm using simply a list in Python. And after that, what we have to do is to this is the input string and input list, and we have to iterate over it so to get the each element one by one. For that, I will use the for loop operations, and after that, we will have to check we have to use multiple if else statement, and we have to check does is it C D plus, and also if it doesn't uh, if it doesn't have this C plus D plus, then it's definitely an integer. So we will add this integer in at the top of the stack. For let's see, add the implementation. If O is operation is plus, then we do something here, and elif op is equal to d, and which gonna double this value, and for the last one op equal to c. And we have covered all these three cases. Now we will add the uh, else statement, where we're gonna add all those numbers in the list, and you can see that the number in the list are in the string or a string, uh, but we have to type class in the integer so we can have the right basically right calculation when the plus or d came out. For that, I will use this tag dot append, which will use to append the number at the end of the stack. And for to typecast it in the integer, we will use integer, and then we will add this operation. This line will typecast the operation, which is the number, and then add in this stack. For this plus operation, we simply two element from the stack and add to basically to append the uh, result back to the stack. And for that, I'll use this same stack dot append, and we will use the stack -1, and which stack -1 is a negative indexing, which we uh, basically it used to access the last element. And for the second last element, we will use stack -2, which will access this second last element of this stack, and plus stack -2. And this is um, that's all done for the plus operation. And for the D operation, we will multiply it by 2 to multiply by 5 and store the result back to the stack. We will do the same thing, kind of, yeah. Stack, and we will access see the last element, stack -1, and multiply it by the 2, and yes, and store the result back to the stack. For the C operation, we will simply have to invalidate the previous code and removing it from the record. And we will simply stack dot or use the stack dot pop to pop the element from the stack dot pop. Yes. And at the end of this algorithm, we have to basically return the sum of all the score or a record after applying all the operation. We have applied all the operation. Now we have to return the um, sum of that stack, which is the all the element right now here 5, 10, and 15, and we have to sum that and send this result back to the function, return back this result. So we will use return and stack sorry, return sum of, we will use the built-in function sum and pass the stack list, and that's all. Let's run this code. Yes, all the cases has been verified. Let's submit it to check the hidden cases of that too. And yes, this is the case. Let's let me tell you again what we have done so far. We have declared this, we have declared the stack, and we iterate over the operation list, which is the input list, and we check if the operation is plus, then we plus the last two element of the stack and append result back to the stack. We will not remove the previous two element, which are the operand. And then for the D operation, we will see the topmost element of the stack and return and multiply by 2 to double it, and store the result back to the stack. And for the C, we simply pop the last element of the stack. And in the end, we will see if there is any number. If plus DC is not, then it's obviously a number. So we typecast this because the inputs contain a string number. So we typecast it and append this result to the stack. And in the end, we sum all the elements which are in the stack right now and return this result back. And now let's see the time. What is the time complexity and space complexity of this? We will using the stack data structure, which is basically a list, and uh, which will take big O of n. And yes, big of n space complexity for that. And so the whole algorithm have the big of n space complexity. We are not having any other variable there. And for the time complexity, we are iterating over the operation, which is the input list, and we are on basically in the one pass we are seeing all these number. We are not going backward or forward, simply uh, one pass. So it will the time complexity is also big of, and right. So both have the time complexity. We can also see this here, time complexity. Yes. Right. Yes, this is the efficiency big of n, uh, which is the time complexity here. Now I will show it on the visualize it. I'll use the programming of a time. Okay, it came on. So first we will typing import list and we'll paste this class and we'll create the object solution and for object we'll actually function call points and we'll pass the same description. Okay, so we will start visualizing and the list and these are the input 5 to CD plus and let's call this function and initially the stack is empty and we will iterate over the list input list and now first element is 5 and we'll see where it match. This is the else statement and int and this string 5 converted into the integer 5 and we store this into this stack. Next is 2 element and it also stored in the stack. After that C came. What we do in the C, we just truncate the last, basically remove the last element which is at the top of the stack, which is 2, and we then have 5 element only. C and stack.pop, 2 is removed and only the 5 is remaining. Next are D, and we will double the 5. So 5 multiplied by 2, which is 10, and we store this result back to the 10, back to the stack. And next is plus. So let's see. For the plus, we will simply add the two element, which is 5 and 10, and then store this result back to the stack, which become 15, 5, 10, and 15. Yes, this is, and we have added all the um, all over the our input list. So we return some now. This 5, 10, and 15 will be accumulated as 13, and this result goes back to the calling invoking function, and this has ended. And this is the basically how this algorithm is working. I hope you like it, and if there is any question, kindly let me know.